We'll get that, and we'll finish the question first. So determine which infinite geometric series, so that means they continue on forever, which ones converge or in which ones diverge. So first of all, a little note. We know that an infinite geometric series converges if R is between -1 and 1. So that's writing it out in words. If we showed that in math, between -1 and 1 you could show like this, or use the absolute value sign like that. Curious how good my writing is today. There we go. How about this? This one. Not bad, eh? It recognized it pretty good. I should have maybe a space in there. And that looks like an I. There we go. So we know an infinite geometric series converges if R is between -1 and 1. How do we find out R? For part A, maybe you can just see it. So maybe you notice, hey, we're dividing by 4. Dividing by 4 is the same as multiplying by a quarter. So sometimes you can just see it. Sometimes the numbers aren't nice and you can't see it. Whenever you can't see it, you can always take 2 terms in a row and divide them. What happens when I do term 2 divided by term 1? If I simplify that, I get 1/4. What happens if I take term 3 divided by term 2? I get 1/4. So we can always take 2 consecutive ones and divide them to find out what our R value is. And since our R value is between -1 and 1, we know that this converges. So if we want to find the sum, if we kept adding those things up forever, we can write out our formula, and then in our case, term 1 is 32, 1 minus 1/4, how did I subtract 1 minus 1/4? Did I just know it was a 3/4? Probably. But if you wanted to subtract fractions, how do you subtract fractions? We need to change the 1 to 4/4. Get a common denominator. 4/4 minus 1/4 would give me 3/4. If I wanted to simplify this further, how do you divide by a fraction? You multiply by the reciprocal. So if I multiply 32 by 4/3, I'm going to get 128/3. So I could leave it like that. I'm not sure, does your textbook have 42.6 repeated at the bottom? Yeah? Okay. That's as a decimal. If we look at part B. Yes? No, you could, if you left it as the fraction or changed it, unless the question says like round to the nearest tenth, then you'd want to put it as a number. Part B, can you see that you're dividing by 10? If If we move up so we can see it again, you're dividing by 10, but notice they go from minus to plus to minus to plus. And so our R value is negative 1/10. Is that number between negative 1 and 1? Yes. So that means we can find the sum to infinity. Term 1 in this case is 100 over 1 minus, and R, since it's a negative number, I'll put it in brackets, 1 minus negative 1/10. When I divide them, or add those two together, 10 over 10 plus 1 over 10 gives me 11 over 10. If I multiply by the reciprocal, I get 1,000 over 11. Which simplifies to 90.90. Questions for practice on this one, 5, 6, 7, and 10.